Okay, we're going to do an update on how my cacao seedlings are doing in the garage. Here in my garage grow station, I've got a few experiments going on, but the big one is my cacao that I am trying to grow once again. They've my previous attempts, I've gotten them to basically a sapling stage, the beginnings of the sapling stage, and I had them in my greenhouse and they died because it got too cold in the winter. So I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to keep them in the house where it's warmer and hopefully they survive this winter. But as you can see, we got some pretty sizable seedlings at this point, and I'm going to be potting them up. I did not have... This was a much more run and gun planting than I've done in the past. In the past, I've had 99% or 100% survival rate on germinations and seedlings. In this one, it's more like maybe 75-80%, just because I didn't have as sterile starting medium. But honestly, I'm not too worried about it because the survival rate is so good to begin with, at least on the way I have been doing it. So we're gonna pot these seedlings up, and I'm gonna keep them all inside. I was gonna say maybe I'll let some stay outside, but I've been burned too many times, or they've been frozen too many times, I should say. Alright, I pulled it off the shelf so I can get a closer look, and I don't think I'm going to pot up all of them, probably just the furthest along ones. Like this, I'm not sure if that one's gonna make it. It probably will. It hasn't dropped the seed yet, but that one's gone. This one I'm gonna wait on. So the ones that haven't dropped the seed and leafed out, I'm not gonna pot up yet. But some of these taller ones, I might. Definitely this one and this one. I'm not sure about these ones because the leaves look so new. I might wait a little while for the stems to thicken up. Like you can see, the leaves they have like a little bit of blush on them. So even though this individual got taller, I think that it's younger than some of these other ones, which is interesting. I think that's because it was in the back, so it had more light access. It's kind of jumped up above the other ones. That's curious. I'll have to keep that in mind for future plantings. I know this grow station is not perfect by any measure, but it's an alright way to get things started. So I think I will take definitely this one and this one, and we'll pot those up. Okay, a few takeaways. I'm definitely only doing the 2 pot ups this time because there's not substantial enough root growth just yet. They're getting there, but I don't want to stress them out too much by transplanting them too early. And I think instead of bringing them in the house right away, I'm gonna switch them into this pots and then keep them in the garage until it seems like they've adapted to this new pot. And I think one of my other takeaways is I might be slightly overwatering. I've been keeping it pretty damp, but I think it's more on the wet side, and that could be doing more harm than good in this case. I was doing that because it was so hot in the garage, but I think I might be overcorrecting in this case. So I'm going to make those adjustments, and we got our little guys here potted up. So that's the current update. I think when I do more repots and as they're getting bigger, I'll do more posts showing the progress.